Hey everybody, welcome back to Kelly's Creations. So glad you're here. This is such a fun video. Excites me. We are going to make miniature lamps and lights. Oh my gosh. You can just go in your stash, grab all your beads, and just think outside the box and start working. I'm going to show you a few things that I used. I got these bases off of Temu and so cute. Oh my gosh. And those bases were an old vintage like necklace I took apart. It's probably costume jewelry. And then these decorative push pins from Dollar Tree that are clear. And of course, it's all about the beads this video. We're just going to use beads, beads, beads. There's some more bases I got off of Temu. I got tons of beads, so I didn't have to buy any of those. We're going to start with the push pin. This is just a glass beaded push pin from Dollar Tree. And I started with adding just a little bit of glue, and I grabbed some smaller beads, purple and clear, and I'm going to feed them on the push pin. It does not get any easier than this. Of course, I'm putting glue on the pin part of it so that the beads will stay in place and they won't twirl around, because hit and miss, that happens if you don't glue it. You can use any kind of glue though. You can make this as big or small as you want by adding another push pin. So we're just going to start with one, and I'm going to use the base that I tore apart from my jewelry. Everything I see is minis. I've said this before, so when I see jewelry that I can tear apart to make minis out of, I usually get it at Goodwill or whatever. Now this light does not light up, but these would make the cutest little end table lamps. If you just want something decorative in your miniature creation or dollhouse that doesn't light up. This is so easy. Look how fast that was. And they are so cute and just perfect to put on an end table. So, light number 2 is kind of going off the same style as light number 1. Again, this one does not light up. I am going to do some that do light up. Stay tuned, don't leave. So again, we're going to use one of those cute little bases, except I'm going to glue the push pin glass ball of it into the base and start from there. And then, of course, use glue on the pin part, feed my beads, but I'm also going to do another push pin with the beads as well. Two of the same, okay? Then I'm going to flip the one, once I have the base of the first one, I'm going to flip my other one into the same hole as the bead on top. And this makes it a lot taller and a much bigger lamp. So you can feed 2 push pins into the same holes of a bead, and you get a very tall lamp. Well, not very tall, but double the size of the lamp I showed you earlier. Yeah. And then just to make this one a little bit different, I grabbed some cloth. My dog's barking in the background. I'm so sorry. I grabbed some cloth and I cut a little piece. And then you can use one of those bases from Temu. Again, I used that jewelry that I cut up and glued the cloth into the base. And then I'm going to come in with tacky glue and kind of make, oh my gosh, I went blank. I'm going to use the tacky glue, and I'm going to kind of glue the fabric together, just so it's a little bit different. We're making a lampshade for this. Once I am done, I'm going to glue that to the top of my light, and boom, you got a little bit taller light with a cloth lampshade. So cute. This doesn't light up, but you could add a light to this if you wanted to, using the lights that I'm going to show you later on in the video. So pleats was the word I was trying to think of. I was just trying to make little pleats in the lampshade. And then I just glued it to the top. I added a little silver decorative piece. to the very top to finish the light off. And these are so easy to make. And I tell you what, once you grab your stash of beads, it's endless possibilities. I probably could have just kept going because I was having so much fun making these lights. But here is light number 2, unique, different, kind of going off the same as light number 1, but with a lampshade. So number 3, so fun. Are you guys having fun? Leave me a comment below what you think so far. So number 3 is going to be a kind of like a steampunk light. And I'm so excited. This is the cutest little stinking light ever. And I love steampunk. I have videos of steampunk. And if you like it, this is kind of my version of a steampunk lamp. Now, these little bitty lights that I'm using, I got off of either Temu or Amazon. If I find a link, I'll link them below or put them in my Amazon shop. If you click on my Amazon link in the description box, it takes you right to my Amazon storefront and shows you all the stuff I use. And of course, you don't have to buy it. I'm just showing you so you can find it if you're looking for it, see how much everything is, see what it is, details, all that. So it's just an easy way to get to the items. But these lights are amazing. You just twist the bottom and the light turns on. You twist the bottom and the light turns off. Look at that. It doesn't get easier than that. And you can decorate around the light. And then you get a lit lamp or light. I just love this. So I grabbed some of my gears and really just kind of doing a little steampunk lamp. And you'll see. Oh my gosh, this probably is one of my favorite out of the video. And if you love steampunk, you'll understand and you'll love it too. Right here, I'm just taking little gears and I am gluing them to the outside of the light, trying to hide it, you know. There's so many ways you can hide the light itself and blend it into the lamp where nobody even knows it's there. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just adding some glue and onto the gears and gluing them right onto the light itself to get that steampunk effect. Now I'm just going to layer the gears on top of where the light comes out to build like a makeshift shade to this lamp. And I just keep layering and adding things until I'm happy with how the top of this steampunk lamp is turning out. I love the way the top was turning out, but it needed something else. So I took that off. I kept the top part together, but I took it off of the light and I added a clear pebble. And this just totally made the lamp oh my gosh, come alive. It was perfect. So I just added that glass pebble. Then I put the top back on the pebble. Then I took some metallic and I painted all of the metal so that it was cohesive and all the same color. I'm finishing the last touches of paint, and like I said, it's so easy to turn on. You just twist the bottom. And here's my little steampunk lamp, and this one lights up. I love it. So number 4 is going to be my take on an outdoor heat lamp. And I am going to be using that awesome lights that came from Temu. And I am going to be using a wood round and a wood stick and a pebble, a brown bead, and I'm going to use a little piece of that necklace for the drawstring pull cord to turn the light on, which is just fake. Of course, you twist it to turn this light on, but so it looks authentic, we're going to put a little pull cord as well. So, of course, I used my markers because I love them so much, but you can water down some brown paint and get the same effect. Now this one is so easy. Now it's just putting it all together. I'm going to glue the wood stick to the wood round, and then I am going to glue my light to the stick, and I am going to glue the pebble to the light. And of course, that's not going to stop it from turning on because it turns on at the base. So you can still just twist it right on. So the pebble goes on next. That's the lamp, the heat lamp part of it. And then my little wooden bead goes on top of the pebble. And then I'm going to add my little necklace piece as a pull cord. I'm just going to glue that right to the pebble. And see, as you can see, you can turn the base, it turns on, turn the base, it turns off. Love these lights. Making lights so much easier if you want a lit up light using these because of the fact that you can just twist it on and off. So here I am gluing that little pull cord and done. This was so easy, and oh my gosh, it just looks like a heat lamp. It turned out really, really good. If you're still here, thank you so much. I love y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to share this video if you like it. Leave a comment of which light is your favorite. And give me a like. I went blink again. And I am going to, again, as much of the items that I've used, I will put in the link below. So they're going to be there. The lights from Temu, just go on Temu and Google miniature lights and they will come up. And here is, oh my gosh, look at that. Look how cute that looks. Like, that looks really authentic to me. It looks like one of those heat lamps when you're freezing outside and you're standing under it trying to get warm. That's what I was going for. I think I achieved it because it did turn out pretty darn cute. All right, we are not done. We got number 5. Number 5 is going to be my take on the vintage table lamp. And this probably was the most work, I guess. It was so much fun, but it was probably like more intense than the other ones. And I am going to be using, I think these are for jewelry. And it's a long, almost looks like a sewing needle, but it has like a head on it, like a nail. I think they're used for jewelry. I had a whole bunch of them in my stash. I think at one point I was going to attempt to make jewelry and didn't. But for this lamp, I am going to use copper beads. And I'm just going to put them on this stick. And I did not glue these. Okay, at the beginning of this video when I was doing the glue and I said it holds the beads in place, this is why these spin. So I did have to go back and glue them together. So right now what I would suggest is put glue on that needle, I guess we'll call it jewelry needle. Put glue just like we did with the other ones, and then put your beads on, and then you won't have to backtrack. Now I did bend it at the top so that the beads would stay in place. So that's why you see me bending it. When I had to take mine apart and glue it anyway, this is the second round you're seeing right now. I did end up putting little tiny beads in between the copper beads, and I glued it all down. So these babies aren't going anywhere. Them turning really was annoying. I guess I could have left it that way, but it really was annoying, them constantly spinning when I was trying to work. I did add a little base to this, and when I put the beads all back on, you can see a little base as well is added on to make it a lot easier for this to stand. And then I just hot glued that base to the bigger base and went from there. Okay, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I glued a base, or I put a base on, then I glued another bead to that base. Now I'm going to put glue on top of that bead, and I'm going to add it to the bigger base. That way it would fill in the space of the base, and that's what the bead is for. That way I could glue it and have it really secure to the base of the lamp. To be able to hold the light, I grabbed one of the gears and I glued that to the top, which gave me a base. And that way I could glue the light to that gear and it would stay in place. And again, twist on, twist off. Once that was secure, now it's time to work on the lampshade. So I have this vintage tape and I thought that would make the cutest lampshade. I wanted it to be a little bit translucent. So I grabbed some parchment paper and I just stuck the tape to the parchment paper and then I cut it out and then I glued it to another gear and that would go on the lamp as the lampshade. I was hoping that would work, but it didn't, so I did need a thicker cardstock. So I ended up gluing that to an index card and going from there, and then gluing that to the gear. It was a lot more durable and worked a lot better. It was a little bit too flimsy without the cardstock, so it ended up working a lot better. A lot of times it's just hit and miss. You gotta see what works. Sometimes you gotta take the project apart. Sometimes you gotta think of something different to do. And yeah, it usually always ends up working out. Sometimes you just gotta tweak it a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. The cardstock absolutely worked better, and I was able to glue it around the gear and make the lampshade that I had in my mind when I started this project. To put this all together, I'm going to just add some hot glue to the top of the light. I'm going to take another clear pebble, put that on, and then I'm going to add some more hot glue and I'm going to glue that lampshade to the pebble itself. Pretty simple, and you end up with a beautiful vintage lamp. And it lights up, which makes it even better. So there's my vintage lamp with the copper beads. I think it's adorable. I absolutely had so much fun sharing these with you. Oh my gosh, I could have made probably 10 more lamps, but I didn't want a 3-hour long video, so I had to stop. So let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, or do you have a couple favorites? Will you be trying this? You're going to get hooked. I tell you, once you start, you're not going to be able to stop. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it for you. As always, if you're still here, you are my best friend. Thank you so much. I will see y'all next week with a Halloween shadow box.